Assalamu alaikum everyone, myself Hafiz Abdul Aziz, and today I am here with another video, and today I am going to teach you the most demanding lecture which was related to the tenses. Yeah, as you can see on the screen, today I am going to teach you what are the tenses, how do we use it, what is their structure, in which tense we use which form of verb, what is subject, what is object. So in short, you can say today we are going to cover a lot of things. Okay, so hopefully you guys are excited. So let's move on and see how many tenses are there. Before jumping on to the tenses, you should know about how many form of verbs are there. There are three form of verbs. The main one, we all know that first form of verb, second form of verb, and third form of verb. We will try to drop the file which is related to the form of verbs into the description. We will definitely link it to the, you can say, the file. Okay, so as you know, the very first form of verb, which is eat, second one is ate, third one is eaten. But what is ing and s doing over here? Eat first form, ate second form, eaten third form. Why ing and s is doing over here? In order to add s, you should have a strong command on the concept of first person, second person, third person singular and plural, because we use s with third person singular in present indefinite tense. So these kind of, there are so many rules and regulations in order to follow, but that is a part of perfection. Right now we are just going to take the general idea of the whole tenses in order to understand all of them in detailed, and you can say the thoroughly according to your understanding. For that you can join our next upcoming batch. Over there we just deliver the live classes and all. That would be more easy for you to understand if you are unable to understand from here. Okay, so eating, if that is the continuous thing, we will see it later. So without wasting any more time, without, you can say, waiting anymore, let's catch tenses. Okay, so as we all know that there are three tenses: past, present, future. Past is the one that has been gone. Present is the thing which is right now, and future is the upcoming days or upcoming functions or time, whatever it is. Okay, so first of all, we are going to do present indefinite tense. And the way I am going to teach that is, you can say, a little bit unique as well. Yeah, today we are going to start learning tenses from the very basic one, which is present tense. We also call it, yeah, present tense से आपने start करना है, ये जो थोड़ा सा ये cut कर दीजिएगा. Okay, so first of all, we are going to deliver present tense. We'll begin with the present simple. Present tense is further divided into four major divisions: present simple, which is also known as present indefinite tense. Then there comes present continuous. Then there comes present perfect tense. And the last one is present perfect continuous tense. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, I would like you to put all of your focus on the yellow one. Affirmative. Affirmative are the positive sentences or the neutral statements in which we do not ask any kind of question and we do not use the word not in. Okay, so we call it affirmative. Then there comes negative, then there comes interrogative. So let's begin with the affirmative one, which is also known as positive sentence. The boy goes to market. So let me tell you about what is subject and what is object, because that is also important. So subject is the one which is performing an action, and object is the one to whom the action is being performed. Hopefully you are understanding it. So as I said earlier, verb. What is verb? An action or state of being is known as verb. And as you can see over here, they are adding s and es with form of verb in present indefinite tense, the positive sentences. What is the reason behind that? When do we add ses? For example, if I say the boy goes to school, over here we add es with go. Why? What is the reason behind that? Because boy is a third person singular. Whenever we are talking about third person singular in present indefinite tense, we always add ses with verb. So let me give you another example in which I am not going to use ses. I go to school. Over here we are not saying I goes to school. That is totally wrong because I is first person. So we do not add ses with first person. We add it with third person singular. So if you don't know about first person singular, third person singular, second person singular, or same as the plural, then I have another lecture on it. You can just go and listen to that as well in order to understand or understand this uh, specific. So let's move on to the negative example. If I talk about the structure, then first of all we add subject, write it down the subject. Then we add do, does according to the situation. Then we add not because it is a negative sentence. Then there comes the first form of verb, then object. Okay, hopefully you understood it. She does not go to health club regularly. I have a question for you. What is regularly over here in this sentence? Write it down into the comment section. Next one is interrogative. Does, do, does, yeah. Whenever we want to make any statement into interrogative one, we just put helping verb in the beginning. Other than that, what we do is we use W family. Okay, what is W family? If you don't know about that, I have another lecture deliver on the whole W family. If I give you a gist right now, that is when, where, how, whom, whose, what, why. So these words are known as W family. Okay, so let's have a look on the example. Do they participate in the inter-school debate competition? So at the end, we are adding question mark because it is a question. One thing we are supposed to do is to add question mark at the end. Another one is to write down helping verb in the beginning. These are the two main things over here. So let's see where do we apply it on the next slide. Let's talk about the implementation of present indefinite tense. Okay, so when we are talking about our habits and action or the facts, then we use present indefinite tense. When we are talking about the general truths, then we again use present indefinite tense. When we are talking about the scientific facts and universal truths, then we also use present indefinite tense. There is another thing that I would like to add over here. Whenever we are talking about our routine, then we also use present indefinite tense. For example, I wake up early in the morning, I go to school, I come back at home, I go to academy, I play some thing on the, you can say, PlayStation, then I do the homework, I eat food. So I am telling my routine. And whenever you are talking about your routine, then you use present indefinite tense. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is present continuous. Okay, so another thing that I would like to teach you today is we also use present indefinite tense when we are sure about anything that is going to happen in future. So just imagine, for example, you might have heard people they are like, I am going to, or people usually say our exam starts from next Monday. Start शुरू होते हैं. Start is a verb. So they are using as, the word as with, our exam starts with from next Monday. So they are adding ses, which is a rule of present indefinite tense. So as they are saying, let's have a look on the heading. A future A1 that is part of plan or arrangement. For example, if as I said earlier, I have made my routine. So if somebody will ask me, can you meet me in afternoon? Then I would say I have a meeting to attend. I attend meeting in afternoon. I attend meeting in afternoon. So it says about my routine, or you can say it is also future. For example, right now it is night and you are asking me to meet me in the morning, and I'm saying no, in the morning I am at office. In the morning I go to office. कि मैं office जाता हूँ, I cannot meet you in the morning. So if we think like this, morning is future. Okay, so present is right now, at night. The night is present. So it is also about the perspective. So about the how long are you considering present. For example, if I talk about monthly, then this month, the month of September, this is present month. August was the past month. And what comes after that? September, October. Yeah, October is the next month. Okay, so another thing is instead of future simple tense in if clause or conditional sentence. Okay, so it is also another thing, in conditional tense. One of them is simple clause, dependent one, and another one is independent one. So let's see, have a look on few examples that says if it rains, अगर बारिश होती है, we shall not go out, हम बाहर नहीं जाएंगे. So the thing is over here, our going out is dependent on rain. If it rains, agar barish hui, then we will not go out. So if we have a look on another example that says if you go for a movie, अगर तुम मूवी के लिए जाती हो, I will not take your leave. मैं तुम्हें छुट्टी नहीं दूंगी या इजाजत नहीं दूंगी. So the thing is over here we also again have a condition. So when we are making any kind of conditional sentence, then we also use present indefinite tense with it. So we also use present indefinite tense in proverbs like it is wise to make hay while the sun shines. All that glitter is not gold. These are also the universal truths as well, or the general truths as well. The moral of the story is haste makes waste, gold help those who help themselves. So these are also in present indefinite tense. It was all about the present indefinite tense. Now we are heading towards present continuous. Okay, so we call it present progressive tense as well, because in this tense we are currently doing something, we are progressing about something. Okay, so let's have a look on the affirmative one. If I talk about their helping verbs, then we use is/am/are as a helping verb in this sentence, in this tense. And if I talk about the form of verb that we use in continuous tense, that is first form plus ing. The remaining one is simple. So let's have a look on few examples. It is raining heavily. It is not raining heavily. Is it raining heavily? So it is quite easy. Hopefully you understood. If you have any kind of ambiguity regarding it, you can ask us on the WhatsApp as well. We will definitely try to entertain you over there. Let's move on to the next slide. Meanwhile, if you have any kind of question, you can also write it down into the chat box. We will try to answer your questions over there. So as they're saying, present continuous is used to donate an action taking place, anything that is happening in progress at the time of speaking. The child is playing with the ball. Sun is shining in the sky. It is also used for action that is planned to take place in the near future. Okay, so for example, just imagine we again have a scenario. Just imagine that I have bought a plane. Oh, I have bought a ticket. I wish there comes a day I will buy a plane, the private jet, or probably an airline, just like the 50 Shades of Grey when he said, I just came back. I went to shopping last month. Then a girl asked, what did you buy? And he replied, an airline. I love that dialogue. So may that time will come when I'll say that in reality as well. Okay, so let's come back to the story. Where were we? We were here at I am going to cinema tonight. Okay, so just imagine it is a day and it is not night. Night is going to be in future. So they are saying when the future is near. When we have made a plan that is related to the near future, then we use present continuous tense. For example, I have bought a plane ticket. My visa has been arrived and I am going to Canada on Monday. And if somebody asks me, we will go to picnic on upcoming Friday, then what I will say to him? I will say him that no, I won't be able to join you because I am going to UK on Monday. So when the near future, when we have planned something in the near future, then we can also describe that thing in present continuous tense. That is the rule. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so present perfect tense, what does it say? If I talk about, if I talk about the helping verbs, then we use has, have over here. And if I talk about the form of verb, then there are three perfect tenses: present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect. And in every perfect tense, we use third form of verb. That is a rule of thumb, that we always use what? Third form of verb in present perfect tense. Okay, so let's have a look on the examples. I have known him for a long time. I have not known him for a long time. Have I known him for a long time? So it was you can say the general examples. Hopefully there is nothing over here that is not clear to you. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so this is the thing where they are describing that what do we use and how do we use, when we can use it, the present perfect tense. Okay, so let's have a look on it. I'm going to read it for you. Present perfect is used to indicate the activities that have been completed in the immediate past, not long before. For example, the child has just woken up. I have just completed my work. To express past actions when the time of happening is not mentioned. Mr. Garg has been to Jaipur recently. Have you met my best friend? Okay, so hopefully these examples are helpful for you in order to understand the concept. So let's move on to the last tense of present, which is present perfect continuous. Okay, so we have few more examples. You can have a look at yourself, but we are moving on to the present perfect continuous tense on the next slide. Okay, so as I said earlier, we also call continuous as a progressive. So we can also say present perfect progressive tense. Okay, if I talk about the helping verb, then we use has been, have been as a helping verb over here. And when there comes a word continuous, then it means we are gonna use first form of verb along with ing. All the, you can say, the sentence structure is written over here in front of you. We are gonna have a look on few examples. After that, we will see some applications that when do we use it. So it has been raining for quite some time. It has not been raining for so long. Has it been raining for quite some time? What do we use over here? We use since and for. Probably next slide contain this information as well. So without wasting any more time, let's move on to the next slide in order to see its implementations. Yeah, as you can see, as I said earlier, since and for. Since is used with a point of time, exact time. You know, we use since when we know the exact beginning period of time. And when do we use for? When we are not sure about the exact beginning period of time, but we have some kind of idea about it, that how long we have been doing it. So for example, let me say a sentence related to the since and for you. I have been teaching for a long time. Over here, I do not know when did I start. That is why I am using for. And when do we use since? If I am sure about my journey of teaching. I have been teaching since 2015. Okay, so I know the exact beginning period of time. That is why I use since over here. So it was all about this slide. You can read it yourself. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so over here, this is how when we use it in order to express an action that began in the past and has been in progress till the time of speaking. Sense of continuity is expressed. I have been doing my assignment since morning. Over here, we are using morning. That is why we know now when did we started this. That is why we are using since. Mr. Lear has been talking to his clients for 3 hours. For 3 hours. For example, if I knew the exact beginning period, for example, I have been talking to my clients since 2 o'clock. So if I know the exact beginning period, then I could use since, but right now I am going to use for. Patients have been taking their medicines since last month. Hopefully you understood this. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so finally our present tense has been ended and we are heading towards past tense. Again, past tense we have four tenses: past indefinite tense, which is also known as past simple. Then there comes past continuous, past perfect, and then past perfect continuous. Today's lecture is a little bit, you can say, lengthy, but it is going to clear all of your concepts related to the tenses. So let's have a look. Okay, so I'm gonna share a very another secret with you, which is like there is only one tense in the whole tenses in which we use second form of verb, that is past indefinite tense. I went to school. Go, went, gone. I am using second form of verb. He played cricket. उसने cricket खेला. So you- everything is written in front of you. You can say, what is it? Oh my God. Yeah, the structure is also written in front of you. So let's have a look on the examples we have over here. Juniors arranged a farewell party for the seniors. Let's move on to the negative one. Juniors did not arrange a farewell party for the seniors. Did juniors arrange a farewell party for the seniors? Okay, so this is how it works. And whenever we are telling a story, we use past indefinite tense. And let's see on the next slide about the implementations of past simple tense. That when do we apply it? Express action that took place some time in the past and are over now. Teacher discussed about global warming in the class. So, okay, so this thing has been discussed or done in the past. I fed birds with some bread crumbs yesterday. Express past habit. So in order to express the past habit, I prefer to use used to. I used to go to school. I used to play with my friends. I used to go to cinema. So used to. So it is known as a special word, and we do have another lecture probably. If not, then we are planning to deliver a lecture which is related to the want, need, must, have to, been, used to, either or, neither nor, these kind of special words we are planning to discuss in that lecture. If you are interested to learn that, you can watch that video as well in order to improve your knowledge or increase your knowledge. Okay, so next thing is refer to something undesirable, unreal state. So these are the implementation of past simple, which is past indefinite as well. So let's move on to the next slide. Hopefully, guys, you can listen to me clearly. If there is any room for improvement, you can suggest us in the chat box as well, so that we will try to improve our services. Affirmative. Okay, so past continuous has been arrived, and if I talk about the helping verb, these are was, were, and again continuous has been used, then it means we are going to use first form plus ing. There is no rocket rule. It is quite easy to understand. You just need to pay some attention. So subject plus was, were plus first form of verb plus ing plus object. I have already told you about the subject and object, so hopefully there is no question to you regarding this. So let's have a look on few examples. She was preparing for her board examination. She was not preparing for her board examinations. Was she preparing for her board examinations? So hopefully you understood past continuous tense. Let's see its implementations on the next slide. Past continuous tense is used to denote an action going on at some time in the past, or it is being used with continuously, always, continually to indicate past habit. Okay. So it is also used to indicate a less deliberate or unplanned action. Hopefully you got the point. So let's move on to the next slide, because I don't want to take much of your time and want to deliver as much as I can in shorter period of time. So we have arrived till past perfect tense. Perfect means third form of verb, and in perfect tense, if I talk about it, it's helping verb, that is only one, which is had. So it is one of the easiest one in order to write or speak as well. You had played the game. Okay, in Urdu we remember these kind of things with the chuka and all. Present perfect chuka, chuki hai and all. Past perfect is the chuka tha, chuki thi, chuke the. And in future it is like chuke honge, chuki hogi and all. Okay, but I do not prefer to teach tenses by using Urdu because just imagine you are learning English with the help of Urdu. How is it possible? It doesn't seem possible. So we have some material related to, you can say we have some charts, which is quite helpful. If you want that, you can ask in the comment section. We will also try to post that over there. So you have played the game. You had, okay, sorry, I think I used have. You had played the game. You had not played the game. Had you played the game? Over here, in order to make any sentence into interrogative sentence, questioning one, we just simply put the helping verb in the beginning. Over here, had is the helping verb, that is why we are using it in the beginning. So let's have a look on the implementation, that when do we use it on the next slide. Past perfect is used to describe an action completed before a certain point of time in the past. And another thing is to show the action that happened before another action in the past. Hopefully you guys are getting the point and understanding what I am teaching. So let's move on to the next one, which is past perfect continuous probably. We also call it past perfect progressive tense. Let's have a look on the formative, negative, and interrogative examples. Players had been running for a long time. Again, since and for, we use it over here. Then there comes player had not been running for a long time. Had players been running for a long time? Okay, so what I usually suggest, the way you speak, that matters a lot. So, when we are speaking, how can we say that this sentence is going to end up with a question? Okay, so for example, just imagine I am saying, had players been running for a long time, question mark. In speaking, we don't say that, but we speak it in a way that all the listeners would came to know that I am asking a question. Just try to observe. Had players been running for a long time? Okay, so it shows that I am asking a question. Hopefully you understood it. Let's move on to see its implementations, or where do we apply it? Past perfect continuous is used to express an action that began before a certain point in the past and continued up to some time. It does not have any effect left at the time of speaking. At the time, he had been driving his car for 3 years. Rohit had been working very hard for his examinations. So hopefully you understood it. Let's move on to the next point, which is future tense. So future simple, what does it say? It is the last tense for today, which contains further four divisions: future indefinite, future continuous, future perfect, then future perfect continuous. So you can say we are heading towards concluding our today's lecture. Affirmative. Okay, so if I talk about the helping verb, these are the will, shall, and we use first form of verb in this tense as well. Our exams will start from next week. Our exams will not start from next week. Will our exam starts from next week? Okay, so hopefully you are getting the point. Let's see its implementations on the next slide. Future simple is used to describe an action which is to take place in the time to come. Okay, so we are talking about future. He will not attend the annual function as he is ill. I will write, okay, so these are the examples. You can read it out yourself by pausing the video. But I am going to move on to the next slide because I am trying to teach you all the tenses in the time frame of 1 hour. So that is why we are skipping it, but you can just pause it out and you can just read it out yourself. Okay, so let's move on to the future continuous. What does it say? If I talk about the helping verb, then we use will be, shall be over here, and As it is continuous, then whenever continuous comes, we use first form plus ing as a form of verb. So as example says, she will be waiting for you in the evening. She will not be waiting for you in the evening. Will she be waiting for you in the evening? Okay, so let's see its implementations in the next slide. Future continuous is used to express an action which will be in progress at a given moment in the future. Okay, so we are talking about something that I will be doing in future. So as I can say, I will be taking class tomorrow. मैं कल class ले रहा हूँगा. So this is how we usually do it. So at the remaining examples, you can read it yourself. You can have a look on it yourself. I'm not going to read it for you because you have to do something as well in order to learn. When you seek to knowledge, you have to go to gene as well if you have to. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, future perfect. Perfect means third form and future means future perfect. Helping verb is will have, shall have. Let's see some examples because the sentence structure is written over here. You can just write it down into your notebooks because it is also going to help you a lot. I will have finished my homework by that time. I will not have finished my homework by that time. Will I have finished my homework by that time? Okay, so guys, I have another thing for you. If you are the follower of our channel, and if you are looking for these slides, if you want these slides, you can just simply drop a text on the official number of language learners, which is available in the description. You just write it down, the text, ask about these slides, and we will definitely provide it to you. And you can just simply take out the prints and you can make your notes. And it would be preferred if you write it down by yourself. Okay, so let's move on to see its implementations. Future perfect tense is used to indicate the completion of an action by a certain future time. For example, I am thinking, I will have bought a house in 2025. मतलब मैंने ले भी लिया होगा, for example, plot, घर बना भी लिया होगा. So this is what they are saying. I haven't done anything till now. अभी तक कुछ नहीं किया, but I am talking about in future. कि future में करूँगा. That is why we are using will have. और मुकम्मल कर चुका हूँगा. That is why we are using third form of verb. So you can have a look on the given examples yourself. We are moving on to the next and the last tense of today's lecture. Okay, so affirmative, future perfect continuous tense. Future perfect means will have, shall have been, and continuous means first form plus ing. Let me read few examples for you. They will have been practicing for their cricket match for 1 week. Over here we use since and for as well. Negative sentence is they will not have been practicing for their cricket match for 1 week. Over here match spelling is wrong. Interrogative says will they have been practicing for their cricket match for 1 week? Okay, so the thing is everybody makes mistake. So the one who made these slides, he made a mistake. And sometimes I can even make a mistake while teaching. Might be, I try not to make any kind of mistake intentionally, but it can happen unintentionally. So hopefully you understood it, and everything is visible in front of you. You can write it down, the structure yourself. You can try to write some sentences regarding to all the tenses, at least five for each tense. This is what you can do. In order to improve it, you can write 5 positive sentences, 5 negative, 5 interrogative of each sentences. So that is another way in order to improve your writing skills or to grip on tenses. So let's move on to see its implementation and the application. Where do we apply it? Future perfect continuous is used to express an action which will begin before a definite, definite moment in the future will continue up at that moment and will be in progress even at that moment. Tomorrow at this time we will have been driving to Noida. Noida is a place at somewhere I know, but I prefer not to tell you right now. So let's move on to see the beginning, to see the conclusion of today's lecture. Okay, so I hope that you have learned tenses by now. Am I right? If it was informative for you, if you learned something new, then give us cheers by subscribing our channel and share it with the friends who wants to learn English, who wants to improve their spoken English skills, who wants to have a strong command on tenses. You can share this video with them as well. And other than that, if you want detailed lecture according to your understanding, you can join our upcoming spoken English batch, which usually starts on every month. So stay blessed and happy. Allah Hafiz.